Hello again, folks. Welcome to episode 4 of my first season Let's Play. So, last time we ended using the smelter, having made myself a new pick. I spent a little bit of time and cleared this area up. I wanted to show you our sugarcane farm. As you noticed, all of the sugarcane is nice and tall. I can just come in here and break everything at layer 2, leaving all the items on the bottom. They will grow new ones. And there I got myself 32 new sugarcane just by giving a little bit of time. So, that's a nice development. Now, I've had several people ask me, in one way or another, why it was that I bothered to build this whole thing if I was just making picks. Well, I'm not just making picks. Later I'm going to make swords, I'm going to make special tools that you can't make native in the game, but I wanted to show you the primary reason I made it right now. So, I need 2 hoppers, 2 chests, and a block called the redstone clock. Let me show you how to make those really quick. The chests, obviously, you know how to make, but the recipe for those is just simply a full block of wood planks in a circle. The recipe for the hopper is that chest with iron in that pattern. And the recipe for the redstone clock is some smooth stone, which you have to bake in a oven. You have to bake some cobble in an oven to make that. Some redstone and a redstone torch, which the recipe is very generic, a stick and a piece of redstone. So, what you do is this. For example, let me put my output chest right here. So there's where I'd like all of the things that come out of my smelter to go. And I'm going to take my hopper and shift right-click on the edge of that chest. Now that hopper is going to pull anything out of here that when this gets full, you pull it out and put it immediately into that chest. And I'm going to put this redstone timer I'm going to say right here. It's right next to the faucet. What it's going to do is turn the faucet on and off. And then, just to make things easy, I'm going to take this hopper here and put it in the input of my smeltery. And then, I'm going to come and get myself some, let's say I'm going to smelt all of my tin ore right now. First, I'm going to remove this clock just so you guys can see what happens. If I take 1 tin ore, just 1, and put it in there, it feeds into the smeltery, the lava heats it up, and this is worth being patient for, folks. What it does is, it's going to convert this 1 tin ore into 2 tin ingots worth of melted tin ore. That means I just doubled my ore, as opposed to putting it in a normal furnace and getting out a single ingot. If I put it in here, I get 2. Almost every major mod that gets added to the game has at least 1 ore doubling mechanic attached to it. You'll notice, it's a very small line, but right here is tin, 2 ingots. Now, I could come over here and output them as ingots, but I have a faster methodology. So I'm going to toss all of this tin ore in here, and then I'm going to come over here and put that redstone clock back here. I'm going to eat a potato while we watch what happens. If you'll notice, it turns on and off the stream of liquid exiting. Now, that's not ideal. It's not the fastest. We, in fact, have faster methodologies coming relatively soon. But for the moment, whenever there is molten tin or molten anything inside the smelter, as soon as it smelts, these things are going to turn into a liquid, and then that faucet's going to pour them out into the basin. You know, the number's slowly ticking down. 48, 47, 46. What happens is, it all gets poured into this, and then as soon as it hardens into a block, it comes out here. And then I can just take that block into any crafting grid and turn it into 9 ingots. So I basically have created an automatic device that uses nothing more than lava to smelt all of my ores for double what they initially were worth. I think this is a great thing. So now, I'd like to make this just a little bit more efficient. Let me look at the recipe for liquid ducks. Let's see, maybe, I'm wrong. They're called fluid ducts. Opaque fluid ducts are probably going to be the cheapest and easiest to make. Let me look at the two recipes. Let's see, this is hardened glass, and this is lead and 2 copper. So for the cost of smelting this, and how many does it make? Makes 6. That's plenty for me right now. Lead, and I have plenty of copper right now. Let's use up the odd-looking one. Understand that because there are a lot of mods plugged in right now, several of them produce copper. Now, each one had its own picture for its copper ingot, and therefore, when you make copper using industrial craft, it looks different than in Tinkers Construct. Because there's a program called Ore Dictionary installed, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the exact same use out of these ingots. They're not going to stack nicely, and that can be a little frustrating, but it's easy to fix later. But let me come back here and make this recipe. See, it's used an Industrial Craft 2 copper ingot and a Tinkers Construct copper ingot interchangeably. The recipe doesn't care. And then I get what's called a fluid duct. Let me go show you what I can do with a fluid duct. Oh, also wanted to show you a neat new trick that I used. You see these plates? This is, remember I was mining obsidian last time, and I mined probably more than I absolutely needed? I made obsidian pressure plates out of them. Obsidian pressure plates, when you step on them, only a player can trigger them. Items won't trigger them, monsters won't trigger them, only a player. So that means that now I can just walk in and out of my house. Also note, I've replaced my doors with iron doors. Monsters can't break down iron doors just by beating on them. Theoretically, a creeper exploding next to them could, but that's not going to happen because I'm not nearby. So, I can now comfortably walk in and out of my house and know that the doors will open and close behind me, but only me. So, now, I came and made a fluid duct for a reason. First, I'd like to take a fluid duct and put it here. Oop, I put too many. Let me go get my crescent hammer. Shift right click on any piece of fluid duct and it'll remove unnecessary fluid duct. Now, if I click on this little space, it allows me to change what this is set up to do. I just changed that to be set up to output from this end, not to connect to that at all, because there's no reason for it to. And now I'm going to change the mode, again, by right-clicking on this tank to output. Correct. I just need to leave it like that. Now, these tanks are automatically outputting directly into this lava tank all as well. Now, you'll note I have an empty seared tank. That means I can pick it up and take it down to the lava fields and refill it later. Now, let me show you another use for a fluid duct that's pretty neat. I'm going to remove this clock. I'm going to whack this once just to get it to finish. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this pick and remove the faucet from the outside of this furnace, and I'm going to replace it with a fluid duct. And now, with just a little bit of wrench choice, I can set this device to output. Now you notice it's not coming out right now. Why is that? Well, let me show you. Because fluid ducts require a redstone timer to output, or they require a servo. I will show you that later, just another complication. I need to come up here and find myself some redstone. There's one. And find myself a stick. I'm sure I've got at least one of those around here somewhere. Come on, where are my sticks? Am I completely out of wood? That would be sad. Let me go check down below. I don't think I'm completely out of wood yet. It's closing on time to make a tree farm, though, obviously. Stone tool rod. No. Not here. Let me go back upstairs. Maybe I missed one. Maybe some of you are pointing and laughing right now. I probably didn't look in the right chest. Well, no sticks there, but some wood. That's all I really need. Okay, so there's some sticks. One of them here will produce me a redstone torch. Redstone torch taken down and put next to that fluid duct, and you'll see what happens. You can see how there's the little red arrow there, but it's kind of dark in color. If I put a torch up there, it's now lit. You'll notice the fluid duct completely empties and fills this. It fills it very rapidly, much quicker than the timer could, and this allows me to even more quickly dump 10 ingots out of here into the drain, into the casting basin, and as soon as it hardens, they empty out and come down here. So I'm producing every couple of seconds, emptying 9-10 ingots down here. Thus, I've produced a way of very rapidly bringing in all of the ingots that I get in the world, all of the ore that I get in the world, and converting it into ingots, and doubling it in the process for simply the cost of lava, and not much lava at that. Very rapid, very easy machine. There's only one disadvantage to this at the moment, and that's this. When you get down to less than 10 ingots, it needs 9 from this liquid, this molten tin. It needs to pour 9 ingots worth of molten tin into that bin to fill it. If it doesn't fill, it never hardens. And so you have to do a little bit of finagling right down toward the end to make sure that everything comes out just like it's supposed to. And I can tell that it's not, because when we subtract 9 from 17, we get 8. That's not going to help me any. So what's going to happen is this is going to pull this out, and then it's going to fill it, but it only got 8 ingots worth of metal. That's not going to be enough. Well, let's see what happens. The smeltery is now completely empty. This is not full. Looking at it, it actually looks like it might be short by as many as 4. So I'm going to take a stack of 9, because it's going to be less than 9. I'm going to take 9 ingots over here and put 2 of them in the smelter. As soon as they melt, they should pour in here and raise that level. Actually, I'm going to put at least 3, because I know that it's at least 3 at this point. And it takes a little while for them to smelt. So basically what I'm doing is finagling the end of a smelting. There are ways to solve this problem later, but for the moment, I'm just handling it manually. As soon as these blocks melt, you can see that there are 3 of them in there right now. 2 just melted. They went in here. One's not going to finish that off, for sure. I'm going to add at least 1 more. I was probably right on my initial count of 4. Little bit of experience leads you to figure out where visually means 1 ingot short or 2 ingots short. Come on. Slowly counting up. And the reason that I'm doing this is, quite frankly, I have silver ore that would be nice to smelt. I have aluminum ore that would be nice to smelt. It'd be nice to get this done and be able to move on to my other ingots. And so I need to drain all of the tin out of this. Nope, I was wrong. It takes 5. 1 more ingot in there, folks. A quick right click. See the block in there. In case you haven't figured that out, the smeltery shows whatever you put in here as a single block, and if you look in here, it identifies a single cube as if it were that item. It doesn't matter whether you put in an ore berry or an entire block of... It's irrelevant. It shows that it's a single cube. It's a shorthand, and it solves the problem of visually displaying the liquid metal in here. Oh, correct. There. Yep, see? We just filled it completely. Now, all of our tin is in here. So now, I can grab all of this gold and toss it in here. But we just had this problem with, trying to figure out exactly... It's actually pretty easy. If you break this up into groups of 9, you know that each one of these is going to produce 18 ingots. And it's going to pour out nice and evenly. So I have 1 gold ore that I couldn't smelt all by itself. I'm fine with that. The smeltery fills up with as many as it can. All of those melt. All of those are going to pour into here and end up in here. Just automatically. I don't have to do any more work. So as you can see, over and above the ability to cast individual things like tools and pickaxes and swords and etc., it also has the ability to handle all of my ore processing, which for me is an important purpose. Now, I want to take a look because these portable tanks, they're wonderful, but I'm starting to feel like I need to hold more in it, and that portable tank really only holds 8. I can make a thing that holds 16 for the cost of Invar ingots. How do I make those? Well, Invar ingots are made by smelting Invar blend or pouring in the casting table fluid Invar. What's the recipe for fluid Invar? If I toss Invar in the smelter, or Invar blend in the smelter, or I can alloy. It's 2 iron, it looks like, versus 1 nickel. And I believe nickel is actually... Let me look. Do I have any ferrous? No. Let me check something again. Uses. That's the U key. This is the R key. What's the recipe for this thing? What's the recipe for Invar blend? It's pulverized ferrous metal and iron dust. Let me go look and see if any of my blocks hold, any of my chests hold, or for ferrous metal. If so, I can make in the smeltery a little bit of Invar blend. I have 4 ferrous metal. So that's the equivalent of 8 ingots, which means that if I combine it with 16 iron, I should get myself 16. I should get myself a bunch of ingots of Invar. Now the furnace is completely empty. And because I don't know if this is going to come out to even blocks, I'm going to remove this torch for the moment. You know, I need a better process for that. Breaking a torch isn't the best answer. What is my best answer? What's the recipe for a lever? I should remember this. This is an awfully common recipe. 1 cobblestone and 1 stick. Doesn't even require any redstone. 1 cobblestone and 1 stick produces me a lever. If I take that lever, put it right here next to this thing, and toggle it, I can turn it on and off without having to break anything. That's a great idea. Okay, now, I wanted 16 iron and 4 ferrous metal. Let's see if that all fits. Looks like it does. Let's see all this smelt and see if I get myself the Invar that I need. If so, I may want to save some of this Invar, because Invar has a lot of interesting uses, one of which has to do with the energy storage I was talking about last episode on my pick. Look at the Invar, it's pretty. The ferrous metal in there is showing up as blue. That's pretty neat. Like blue bricks. Well, looks like it melts relatively quickly, and we should get ourselves 8 ingots of molten nickel, just like I expected. And so if we smelt 16 ingots of iron in it, we should get ourselves 3 blocks, I think. 1, 2. Notice that some seems to get stuck in the pipe. 3. Nope, didn't get a complete 3. So, let's see how many of these Invar ingots. Let's start with 3. 3 Invar ingots in there to see if that fills it up enough to give me my final. Let me do this off camera, folks, and I'll be right back. Okay, folks, made myself some Invar and a couple other neat things, and I want to show you some useful tricks. So first of all, we were talking about the uses for the portable tank. If you take a portable tank and surround it by 4 Invar ingots, you get a hardened portable tank, which holds twice as many buckets of lava. That makes my trips shorter. So let me use 4 Invar ingots, just like this, to get myself a hardened portable tank. I'll upgrade the other one later once it's empty. Now, there's also another thing that I would like to make. It's called a leadstone energy cell. This is going to be to attach to my pickaxe. This takes a redstone conductance coil, a leadstone energy cell frame, and some copper. So first we got to make this. And this is one electrum and 2 redstone. Electrum is made by mixing gold and silver in the furnace, which I already did, and this energy cell frame, which requires a block of redstone. How do I make that? Well, it's as simple as that. So I need a block of redstone. Only need one. Now, I need some glass, and I'm pretty sure somewhere around here I had, at least there's some glass. Perfect. This will allow me to make this. Shift click. There's the energy cell frame. Here's the energy cell itself. Now, this can also be upgraded by surrounding it with Invar ingots so that it holds more. And since I'm going to be using this pickaxe all the time, this is a very valuable thing. Now, I have a hardened energy cell, which will hold 22 million RF, which when I attach it to my pickaxe will allow it to hold a huge number of RF and thus be an extremely durable tool. How do I do that? Well, we head down here to this bench where we made the tool in the first place, and we take the Elamite pick and we attach to it the hardened energy cell. It adds flux. If you'll note, it adds 400,000 redstone flux as a choice. Now I have a reinforced 2 and redstone flux tool, but I have a problem. I don't know how to charge it. I know that there's an item in thermal expansion, so let's go find it. What is it called? It's called the energetic infuser. Looks like I need a redstone reception coil and true redstone transmission coil. So this one's made of gold. That's easy. I put that and plenty of redstone. This one's made of silver. I've made plenty of that. Let me come over here and get some gold and some silver. A little gold. Doesn't look like I have any silver broken down, so let me break some down. Still have my redstone. Can take a machine frame, which is gold and steel or iron and glass, and I have gold, and I don't have any iron in my inventory right now, but I know that I have plenty. Let me make sure that I have enough gold. I have some tin, I have some lead. If I need those things, I don't have to come back down here and grab them. Where is my iron? There we go. Let's just take a chunk of iron with us. What else does this recipe call for? Leadstone energy cell, like I just made. So that's glass, lead, and redstone. And I've got plenty of that. So let's go upstairs to my crafting table and make this item also. Now, I know that I'm going to have to attach this to an energy production device, which I haven't made yet, but I'd like to at least have the tool to know that I can recharge my new pickaxe. So, let's see. We need 1 redstone reception coil. That was easy. We need 2 redstone transmission coils. There's 2 of those. We need 1 machine frame. Here's 1 of those. I may run out of glass in the process of making this. Yes, I need to turn 2 more sand into glass. Just a moment. Now, I think I'm going to dedicate the next little while of my smelter's use into making glass for me. Let me make sure that I have everything set up and pull the lever, and this will make glass. Just a moment, I'll be back when I have glass and all the things necessary to make my energetic infuser. Okay folks, I'm back. I've got the glass that I needed. I made my redstone block. So now let's make our leadstone energy frame. 1 of those, and convert that all into an energetic infuser. My inventory gets full really quick when I'm doing all this crafting. Let me empty some of this stuff out, do a little bit of sorting. Things will make a little more sense to me. Okay, good. Now, I happen to know that the next thing that we're absolutely going to require is an energy conduit. So let's see if I can just see it really quickly. Let's check the next page. Let's see. I'm perfectly fine with us having a leadstone energy conduit. So that's lead, glass bricks. Let's see if I can make that right now. Yes, I can. That's plenty of those. I don't want to use up the last of my invar. But let me take a look and see what the uses of this are. I can upgrade that very easily. I'm going to upgrade them. That gives me the ability to transmit more power. Now, I need a source of power. It looks to me like my best source of power is going to be a steam dynamo. This is made out of copper. Do I have any copper on me? I do. So a steam dynamo. Let me make a redstone transmission coil. I only need one. Because I'm only going to make one of these for the moment. I need some copper gears. And, I don't have enough wood, but I think I have some right here. I do. And let me grab back one of those blocks of cobblestone that I tossed in here. So, back to what I was making. Let's make myself some sticks. Looks like I need to make 2 gears for this. Copper gears. Yep, 2 copper gears. So let's go ahead and just work our way through the construction of these. A copper gear. Oh, I want the other kind of copper gear, please. It's made out of a stone gear, which is made out of a wooden gear. Just like so. So I need 2 of these, both of which I'm going to go and surround with 2 stone. Both of which I'm going to surround with 2 copper, like so. That gives me the 2 gears that I needed. Now, let's go back into this. Is there anything else I need to make? Just it. Okay, now, I know that this is going to take buckets of water. Luckily I have those. And coal. And because I've switched to using my smeltery, I have plenty of coal. So that seems to be no problem whatsoever. Let me head downstairs and show you how all of this works. I'll set it up right here, right near my water source. This is going to be my first power production and power use device. I'm going to put 1 energy conduit here, 1 steam dynamo here, touching it, and the energetic infuser connected to it. Now, this needs a stack of coal, and it needs some water. So let's go ahead and fill it up with water. That should be full now. Yep. And since I have fluid ducts, I don't yet have a device for pulling water out, but there's a relatively easy one here. Let's see if I have the materials to make an aqueous accumulator. It's going to be glass, a pneumatic servo, which is redstone and iron. I think I have everything that I need to make this. So what's happening right now is this is heating up. It's producing steam, it's feeding it into this conduit, and that's charging this infuser. Now, if I take my lovely new chargeable pickaxe and put it in here, it's going to suck all that energy right out of here and load it up into my pickaxe, but then my pickaxe doesn't get damaged when I use it. So, let me go and make an aqueous accumulator, because that's going to be extremely useful for me to have. I hope I have everything that I need on me. I bet I don't have enough. I have 4 glass. That's probably enough. And I have enough redstone. Let's do it. Okay. Aqueous accumulator is going to require a servo. Give me 1 servo, please. Good. And then going to require 1 machine frame. Nope, I need more glass. Just a minute. Let me go pick it up. So, when I'm all done this episode, what we'll have done is automated the production of redstone flux and gained our first power, and created our first powered tool, which means that we don't need to continue using up material resources, except coal, which we have lots and lots of, and later can switch to the use of lava, for example, from the nether when we get there, for our power production. This is a great first step because it gets us to the point where we're no longer using up the materials that we are creating just to continue making more materials. In other words, when I go digging in the ground, I know that I'm not going to turn all of those materials back into pickaxes and similar things just so that I can go back to mining. Now, do I have everything I need? There's my aqueous accumulator. Now, I have buckets. Good. So, what I'm going to do is this. Aqueous accumulator is a block that, when placed down anywhere, will slowly generate moisture. But if you want to be much faster about it, I'm going to steal this pick for just a moment. What you do is you surround it on 2 or more sides, and I'm going to hit 3 just because it's easy enough, with water source blocks. Oop, that wasn't what I wanted. Guess I have to remove this dirt. Just a moment. There. Now, if I put the aqueous accumulator down right here, it's surrounded on 3 sides by water source blocks. And so, it will have an internal tank that is constantly full of water. And I'm only using it for one purpose now, but in the future there are lots more purposes for this infinite source of water. For the moment, I'll just connect it up here. And now I never have to worry about my steam dynamo running out of water. Which means that as long as there's coal around, I never have to worry about whether or not I have power for my pickaxe and later for my swords and whatnot. There we are, folks. For the moment, we've automated the production of materials, which at the moment I'm clearly using to make molten glass, making blocks of glass, which I'm feeding through this system into this chest, because glass is always valuable to have, and produce all these wonderful ingots. And we've powered our first tool so that we're no longer operating on make and break tools, and we've produced all the necessary tools to power it. So, I feel like we've done a wonderful job today. There is one other thing that I want to show you. It's not something that I'm going to use right now, but I think it's something that you guys might find very interesting. Notice that the bronze crusher that I made several episodes back is listed as broken. That's because I used it to death. But I still have it. Normal pickaxes in Minecraft, when you use them up, they break. Now, this just operates just about as well as my hand, maybe even worse, in the process of breaking bricks. So what's the use of having broken tools around? Well, if you take them back to the tool station, and you put in whatever material you used to make the head, you can repair the tool. Now, it only took me 1 bronze ingot to make it, and it took me 2 bronze ingots to repair it, but that's still 3 bronze ingots, which is 1 less ingot than it would have cost if I had made... It's basically the cost of making this thing out of iron in the first place, and I get 2 full sets of uses out of it. So to me, this is a pretty useful way of repairing, fixing tools, and having them available for later use. But I much prefer the redstone flux approach, which allows me to have a pick that is completely charged. As you'll note, it's almost completely charged. And when I pick it up, I can go use it almost to death, bring it back here, toss it in, and at the cost of nothing more than coal and the materials I had to build this out of, I end up with a completely repaired pick. There we are, folks. Next episode, I hope to move on to a sword for my own personal defense. And I'm not sure what our next approach is. Probably we're going to use some of this redstone power and this pick that I made to go into the nether, find ourselves a good place to find an infinite amount of lava, and begin transmitting it here. I'll show you those tricks in the next couple episodes. I hope you had a good one. I'll see you soon. Bye.